to adjust some settings. Hopefully it's fine now. So once more, if there are any more issues like audio issues or something more with video, just let me know. Today is all about audio Imperia. I still owe you a stream on Cerberus, so we are going to take a look at that today. We take a look at their brand new released Talos Horns library. This is something that I'm really excited about. I had a day with playing around with it, and for those who haven't caught my stream on Jaeger, we will take a look at that today again as well. I think at least in utilizing some of the stuff for doing a track with it. And without further ado, let's just dive straight in and check out their newly released Talos Horns. The project is pretty blank, so I just loaded 3 instances of Contact. There are no effects, no master, whatever applied, so this is the sound straight out of the box. This is what you get when you open it up first time. That's why we do a hands-on, right? So that is the legato. Pretty smooth, if you ask me. First of all, I forgot that. Let's get the basics out of the way. We have, sorted by name, there we go. Talos Horns. What we have in there, we have the multi-samples, which is Time Machine Pro patch and a regular patch. Time Machine Pro, we will come to that in a second, what that is. And we have the usual Audio Imperia sound design patches that they are so famous for. And so hard Brahms, soft Brahms, Tonal Atmos, Atonal Atmos, low pads. So we will take a look at that as well. Right now I've loaded the Time Machine Pro setting or patch. This was the legato transition, which is the first key switch, as you can see down here. So the articulations are spread out through the key switches from C0 to A#0. And so yeah, this is the mixed mic. Yeah, let's take a short look at the interface. This is the mixer where you got the different mic positions. You get mixed positions, full mix, I would say. F stands for, I would assume. And then you get solo, dry, wet, and far. Or wide, maybe. Not really sure about that. So this is the mixed mic position. And by the way, Talos was recorded in the same hall with the same orchestra, I guess. So the strings and brass from Jaeger. Actually, let's load up the Jaeger. Wanna do the Jaeger Horns to compare it directly. There's Jaeger instruments, brass. 6 French horns. Let's load these. Are we supposed to talk about competing brands here? You can talk about whatever you want. If you want to talk about Forzo, you can do, of course. I haven't tried out Forzo yet. And I checked Daniel's walkthrough and the Heaviosity streams about it. And it looks like a great library. But besides the modulation patches or the loop patches that they have integrated there, which seem pretty cool, I personally don't think that I just have too much libraries already, so I didn't buy it. Long story short, I have so much sounds at hand that I didn't feel that it adds much to the palette. When I come across a project where I see the need for Forza, obviously we'll grab it, but right now I don't see a need for it. The same reason why I dropped out on Novo back then. There are great sounds in there, but I didn't feel that it really had much of what I needed at that point right now. And maybe when it goes on sale on Black Friday or something like that, I might grab it. So, but not yet. Back to topic, we had Talos Horns, and then I loaded the Jaeger Brass. And this is 6 French horns, legato. So you see the sound is pretty much similar, but it's way bigger sounding than the 6 French horns. But obviously that makes for a nice combination. So there's that. So that's actually a pretty nice comparison to get an idea for what 12 horns brings to the table compared to the 6 French horns. And as I've said, we will take a look at, no, I will come to that in a bit. Let's finish the Talos Horns articulations first. So we have the legato, as I just played. Then we got the sustains patches. Pretty bold. By the way, the sample range is down to C1. So then we have Marcato longs. Staccato. Then we have Staccatissimo. They're pretty bitey. And they, the short articulations don't react to mode wheels, so they are velocity controlled. And then we have the patches where the difference between Time Machine Pro and the regular patches comes into play, because these are tempo synced articulations like double tone. So let me just compare that when I load the regular patch. Come on. And go to the double tone. So that's pretty much as recorded, and with the Time Machine Pro patches, there's 332 megabytes, by the way. So a little bit more on the Time Machine Pro patches, and here we have adjusting the double tonguing to the speed of your DAW. So I'm going to triple tongue. Back to 120. I really hope when they do future releases for the extended horns and the epic horns that they keep it consistent with the articulations, so that you really have all the same stuff available, or maybe some special articulations that are typically for trombones, etc. But overall, I hope they keep it consistent. Then we have rips. And last but not least, last articulation are some bands. And you can't really do these with a legato patch. It just sounds better with a... And this seems just like a single velocity. Seems like the same sample, just softer. So let's look at some of the sound design patches we have here. Watch your speakers. I don't really know how loud these are gonna be. So that's the usual suspects, Brahms. I like these softer ones. So down here you can control the pitch of the samples. Then we have Tonal Atmos. Some cool stuff in there. And that's the thing, we're still talking about a 12 horns library, and this is all additional content that you get with it. So I don't think that there's a point talking about the price tag. It's just a lot of content that you get. And by the way, just answering the question why they release brass instruments individually, they're not the first one to start that. So look, it's Cinesampled. They did the 12 horns on their own. Whoa. That's some cool stuff there. Low pads. around with the integrated low pass filter. So yeah, that's pretty cool stuff there. That shall conclude the first look at Talos. We are going to utilize that, of course, and do a little bit of a track with it. And I mean, 12 Horns leads itself to some epic, heroic, whatever kind of tune. So we will see, but maybe we explore the softer side as well. Next point on the list, drink. Cheers. But that's what I was talking about. So we'll take a look at Cerberus. Cerberus pretty much replaced their old decimator. Not replaced, that's wrong. They took decimator off their website, so they don't sell it anymore, and their new library is Cerberus. It's not just an advanced decimator, it's really way more. It's a pretty huge orchestral percussion library with an edge to it, let's put it like that. There are a bunch more articulations. You have ensemble drums, drum kit, loops, and sound design again. And there's also a bunch of different presets. So let's just play a little bit with these. We got ensemble drums loose, tight and processed, and stacked as well. So this we start out with loose. And tons of mic options here. So this is the dry white far basic setup. You get, I have no idea what all these mic positions mean. TC, that close, that direct. BC, MS might be mid-side or something like that. For the time being, I stick with these initial mic positions that they have. But you can obviously, for example, mix in so you can get quite a bit of different sounds there. As I've said, I stick to the main mic positions that the patch load with. So that is ensemble. You got some rolls and crescendo rolls, 1 second, 2 seconds, 4 seconds. I like that it changes according to what you play on the keyboard. So you initially get to the sound that is actually played. So tom mid, tom low, and tom high. Snare ensemble. And clacks and sticks. There, yeah, clack and stick. So this is loose. Then we get the same in tight. So actually, let's load this into another slot so we can compare. One mute. It's already a bit louder and way more oomph to it. more in your face. Let's see how the snare sound. So that was loose. So tight really gives its name. Behaves like the name suggests, so it's really damn tight. So then we have processed, so you don't need to worry about EQing and compressing and mangling. They already did that for you and provide you with a process patch, and again with loose and tight. So that was the unprocessed version. This is processed. I would say that's quite a difference. Sounds like they definitely did something in the sub area, so there's way more low end. So that's damn bold. And then we got the same thing as tight. And last but not least, we have stacked sounds as well. So just, I think this is loose and tight together. And then we have stacked processed, which pretty much is sonic mayhem. So if you ever look for bold sounds, that's definitely right there. Then we have a drum kit, and the drum kit okay, that starts at C0, not at C1. Kick solo, tom, oh, roll. Let's just load the hits only. Might be easier. Sadly they didn't put the hi-hats onto their own exclusive group so that the short hi-hats cut the open hi-hat. So that's drum kit, and then we have this as processed as well. Oh wow. That's pretty bold. Next one, they integrated a bunch of loops, so let's check these out. And actually, you also have the MIDI files for these grooves. So you got the full and then the different parts. So there's definitely some cool stuff in there. And then we have we got this loose and tight and loose and tight, and let's try the 4/4 and 120. And actually, let's try this. Let's load. I just want to see how it compares, so let's duplicate this track. We go with a 4/4 stacked, no, not stacked, the tight. So we duplicated this. So this is the loops. I just want to see how it compares when you load up the MIDI. So let's load the tight drums here. Which is which? This is, yeah, tight drums, and then we load the loops. 120 4/4 tight over there. Okay, let's just take this one to try it out. So you got this loop. And now, I'm not really sure whether... No, you can't drag from contact directly. So I would need to open up... Give me a second. So there is Cerberus. Then we have... Is it in data or instruments? Loops, MIDI files. There we go. So 120. Unfortunately, I have no idea which loop that is, but let's try the first one. So I'll drag that in. Why can't I drag in the MIDI file? So this is new. Okay, then do it that way. So there we go. Then let's load up Battle Cry 4/4. So, put that there. I don't want Halion Sonic. Go away. Go away. In case you're wondering, I switched my systems, and so a bunch of stuff that I had running on my regular DAW, like normal, changed now that I have my laptop as my main system and my former main system as my slave. So a bunch of stuff is still not fully configured. So back to topic. Cerberus loops. I hope this is Battle Cry. It sounds like. And we easily identify some of, or a little bit of a problem that I have with Cerberus, on my system at least, is this. So it's a pretty heavy CPU hog, to be honest. I mean, I have my buffer size pretty low to have as little as possible latency when working. But this is, to be honest, this is pretty demanding, and I don't have the worst CPU. So when we look here, it's i7 7700 at 4.2 gigahertz. But as you can see, the audio performance meter, when I switch two mic positions off, or let's just use one. So this is just one mic position. 2. So it definitely is a CPU hog. I have to admit that. And so mute the 16th. Still, it's so, and let's change this to the stacked version. So, where is stacked? There, stacked. Stacked, processed. Tight or loose? What will we go with? Processed. So with the stacked version, what do we have in terms of CPU? So that's way more relaxed. It might easily be that it's because of the various mic positions in the other patches, so that it's so demanding on CPU, because all the, I think that's still even if you deactivate the mic position, that all the samples are running at the same time. But that's just me. So is that better in terms of CPU when I put in the 16th again? Yeah, that is working great. So, okay, we will... so that's pretty much the same as... So this is a loop patch, and this is the MIDI patch. The cool thing is that you now can edit to whatever you like, so you're not bound to the loops that they provided, but you can tweak and change things. So that is pretty cool. Let me open up this for a second. So okay. Okay, I just got word from Jan from Audio Imperia. I think he's watching the stream, but not commenting on the chat here. That they're working on a fix for the CPU issue there. So it's obviously it's the stacking. So if you need this big sound, rather use the stacked patches, and for the regular sounds, then you can use the ensemble patches. And there will be an update that fixes the CPU issue on what you just experienced here. So, long talk, let's dive straight in and do actually something with it. So we have the Talos horns. And let's get back. Let's build a little section here. At least we want to have some strings, some... so this is violin 1. Duplicate this. Come on, why is this taking so long? It has never been this long. Boom, 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 boom. Jaeger. There we go. Instruments, strings. So my violin 2 patch, which is... I did that in the other Jaeger stream, so there is no violin 2, but you can fake one, and it sounds pretty decent. So there we go, violin 2, and at least some violas, cellos, and basses, so that we have the basic string section set up, and then we load some more stuff as needed. I have no idea what we're going to do, but as I've said in the beginning, 12 horns lend itself to a little bit more of some epic stuff or superhero thematic type of stuff. So we try to do something along these lines. So then we have Charlie. I keep everything on the full mix position, so no twiddling right now with the mixes. And last but not least, we have the double basses. We have them in a few. There we go. So double basses. Load them up. And now we're going to put this into a new folder, name that strings. Keep your templates organized. That helps a lot in the long run. So, last but not least, let's take this off. Okay. There we go. So, let's add a little bit of reverb. No, not instrument. Damn it. So let's go with Valhalla Vintage Verb. Let's go with medium hall. No, rather with a large hall. So 2.79. Then we have stream stops and reloads. Let me check that. we have all good on my end. We have no drop frames and it's streaming. So my stream information is fine regarding this, but let me try to stop the stream and restart. Maybe that helps if there is an issue in transmitting. So we will see how that goes. So we'll be back in 10 seconds.